In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to debug a Virto Commerce platform application installed with precompiled binaries without the source code located on the local machine. And for this example, I downloaded and deployed the latest version of the platform and its main modules as binaries, and I also created a small custom extension module that I'm going to debug. To enable debugging, the Visual Studio needs PDBs or symbol files. So as we can see here, the platform and its modules are distributed with them. So this is my custom model, orders to. And this is a simple extension module that has one API method, getByNumbers extended, that calls the search order service from the order module and serialize object method from Newton.json package library. And we are going to debug those two. For this solution, platform DLLs and the order model DLLs are installed as NuGet packages, so we do not have the source code for them. As for the configuration options in the Visual Studio, go to Debug, open Options, and we need to take some default settings on this window. First, we need to uncheck Just My Code and uncheck .NET Framework source tapping. So these two should be off. Then we need to enable source server support, and we need to enable source link support. So source link is a mechanism that allows Visual Studio Debugger to download source code from the internet for packages distributed with NuGet. Also on this window, it is recommended to uncheck require source files to exactly match the original version. After that, we need to configure symbol servers from which PDBs are going to be downloaded. And first two servers in the symbol file locations are enabled by default, but it is recommended the additional 4. Also on this window, after we unchecked Just My Code and set up the source servers, it is recommended to use load only specific modules instead of the default load all modules to improve debug performance. Because otherwise, after entering the debug state, Visual Studio will try to download all PDBs for all modules found in the application, and depending on your connection to the internet, could potentially take a lot of time. And the most used dependencies can be specified in this window, so all symbols for DLLs listed here will be downloaded automatically, but for now we only have Fluent validation. And this concludes setting up the Visual Studio. So now let's see how it all works in action. So let's start the platform application, attach the debugger, set up some breakpoints, and we'll try to hit them. So the first breakpoint is hit. Let's continue to another one. So this method, search customer order async, this method is located in the customer order module, and if I want to step into this function, if I press F11, we'll see that source link is working, and we are prompted with the dialog to download the source file from the internet. In this case, this customer order search service CS, which is gonna be downloaded from GitHub. So let's do that. And after we downloaded source code, we stamp into the order model function, and at this moment we can use all the standard debug features of the Visual Studio. We can add new breakpoints, we can examine the variable state, and so on and so forth. So let's step out from this function, and we are prompted with another dialog to download the source code, and in this case this is the platform file, memory cache says. So after downloading the file, we are in the platform code. We can debug it too. So using this mechanism we can debug platform DLLs and the model DLLs. To monitor the status of symbols in the application, we can use the modules window. If we go to debug Windows modules, and this window contains the list of all DLLs loaded into the application and the status of the symbols associated with this DLL. So now you can see that Virto Commerce DLLs have all its symbols loaded because they were located in the application folder. We can check on the order DLL. We can see that symbols were already loaded. And for example, if we now want to debug a third-party application, in this case Newton.json DLL, we can find it using the search function in the list. Here it is, Newton.json, and we can load the symbols for this DLL explicit using the load symbol function. So the symbols are loaded. We can check symbol load information. So this window tells us where the Visual Studio tried to locate the PDB file and where it eventually got it from. And to add this DLL to the list of symbols that will going to be loaded automatically after debug starts working, we can do this using the always load automatically function. And we can see now it appears in this window, symbols to load automatically. So now the symbols are loaded, we can use F11 on this method, and we can see that source link is working again. A bunch of F11s. And now we are debugging the Newton.json DLL. To check whether or not a library supports source link functionality, you can use an utility called NuGet Package Explorer and open package with it. In this case, order model, and you can see that it supports source link. So using this method, we can debug pretty much anything from platform model DLLs to Microsoft DLLs or third-party libraries without the source code available on the local machine.